game industry brings in billions with a B dollars every single year. Games like Halo 3, Grand Theft Auto 4 have brought in Hollywood blockbuster numbers in just the first couple of days on the shelves. Joining us live from New York right now is Matt Stuart from CNNMoney.com with some more insight on where all that money goes. You know, Matt, show me the money.
How are you?
Great. Where does all of that money go? Because it's so much, billions and billions of dollars every single year. I mean, is that normal for return?
You would think so, but in fact, it's above normal. This year, the video game industry is on track to hit $22 billion. It's a 15% increase from the almost $19 billion that they had in 2007. And the 2007 numbers were 43% higher than what they had in 2006. So consumers are saying, you know what, I know we're in an economic downturn, but I still want to play some video games. I'm going to give you my $50 or $100 or however much the game may be, and I want to have a good time. I'm going to enjoy myself.
Well, you just said $50 to $100. That's true. Okay, but that's just for the game. And then you see this guy playing around with the Wii. You have all these accessories. You have to get the extra equipment. Does that factor in to sales?
You would think, okay, extra equipment, higher prices, people aren't going to buy as many, but it almost seems as the opposite is true if the game is playable and people are going to have a fun time playing it. Perfect example here is the Wii Fit. It came out end of May, around May 21st, I think the date was, and it sold 690,000 copies by May 31st, and that was just in the US. Worldwide, it's already sold 5 million copies. So people are saying, you know what, I'm tired of sitting on the couch and just, pressing the buttons and hitting the little joystick. I want to be a little more active in the games that I'm playing. I want to have more control. Another example is Rock Band. It comes with a 4-piece. You can play the drums, you can play the guitar, you can play the bass, you can sing, and you can have all your friends over and play your favorite songs. You can play the Guns N' Roses, you can play The Who. They have a new version coming out this fall because people said, you know what, bring it on. We like it, we want to play it, give us more.
Give us more, but all of that accoutrement, shall we say, is not included in the actual sales. So what does that mean for the gaming industry?
It works out for them. You would think, okay, it's not going to do it, they're not going to buy it, people don't have the money to spend, but the Guitar Hero, I think, was probably the best example of this. It came out in 2005, November 2005, I believe it was. It's been almost 3 years. They've sold over $1 billion worth already. There's a Guinness World Record already for the highest score. The Guinness World Records actually recognizes Guitar Hero as an accomplishment that you can achieve as far as the highest score. That is how high these accessories have come.
Right, there you go. So people really want to play the game. They'll buy all of the accessories and all of that. We just talked about Grand Theft Auto. Some big other franchises in the gaming industry have been linked into movie franchises as well. So I'm assuming that they do better than the Grand Theft Autos of the world. What about Iron Man?
Iron Man, the movie did really, really well. And you would think, all right, great movie. I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. The game is going to be a lot of fun to play also. And it really wasn't true. The game didn't really sell because the gameplay wasn't there. It wasn't that enjoyable. It's happened before. Transformers is a good example of this. It was a blockbuster movie. Kids liked it. Adults liked it. They could have tapped into many generations. My generation, we grew up with Transformers, and a new generation with a video game you can play as a Transformer. But it wasn't fun to play, and the sales reflected that. And if you have a movie franchise, just because it does well, does not mean that the game is going to sell. Star Wars is a great example of this because you have a huge movie franchise, a huge licensing franchise, and the games, they put a lot of time and development into the concept of the games, and they sell. The Star Wars Force Unleashed is coming out this September, and I know the Wii version, you can actually swing the Wiimote like a lightsaber, and for basically anybody that's ever seen Star Wars and wanted their own lightsaber, this may be as close as you're going to come because it will reflect your movements on screen.
Okay, so basically, it's the quality of the game. It's not all of the fluff that will get gamers to buy the game. It's actually how you can play it. I mean, gamers aren't going to buy into all of the marketing buzz. Let's talk about some of the sports games as well. You could probably trace sports games back to Pong, Atari in 1972. Have they actually gone downhill since then?
They have not gone downhill. They just keep developing, they keep on adding more features, and every year you just see new examples and new versions of it. You could call it the same old formula. Perfect example of this is the Madden football franchise. It's a 20-year series. The Madden NFL 2009 is coming out this coming Tuesday. People are very excited about it. It's the first version. It will offer online play, and you can have a whole league set up with your friends, and you can trade players, you can draft players, you can have the entire league running. You can all have a championship series, and it's just going to go on and on like that. And nobody's really sure yet what the sales might be, but they make a new version every year. And just last year with the Madden NFL 2008, it sold 2 million copies in its first month on sale, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Nothing to sneeze at, indeed, especially when you are at the CNNMoney.com newsroom talking about publicly traded companies losing tons and tons of money every single day. These guys want their football. Look, what is this guy doing? I think on the cover of this Madden 09 is Brett Favre wearing a Packers jersey, which might turn a couple people off now that he should be wearing a Jets jersey, indeed. What about some other stuff you guys are following over at CNNMoney.com? Any other games bringing in a ton of cash these days?
I know you mentioned earlier, Grand Theft Auto. Those are the 3 magic words when it comes to a video game bringing in the money. It's sold, I think, $8.5 million by the end of May. And you say, okay, or rather, I'm sorry, 8.5 million units. Okay, 8.5 million units, but it was only out for a month. It came out middle of April. And for it to rack up those sales in a month, month and a half is stupendous. That comes to about $500 million in revenue for one video game alone. Another example would be the Lego Indiana Jones series. People were they weren't really sure what to expect, but you had Lego behind them, and they made the Star Wars Lego games, which are a lot of fun. People really enjoyed playing them, and you saw that with the Lego Indy. All 3 versions, the PlayStation 3, and the Xbox were all in the top-selling games for June. People are enjoying it. It's kind of fun. You can just sit down, and the characters look like Legos, and it's just fun to play it.
They do, and that looked like a boulder running down the hill as well. All right, Matt Stuart from CNNMoney.com. Hey, thanks so much for getting your game on with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.